Definition of terms of ethics. Okay. Ethics. Ethics is the branch of philosophy which study the principle of right or wrong, the human conduct, then the importance of the ethics indispensable, then knowledge, the morality is the quality of the acts by which they are constituted as a good, bad, or different. Then moral integrity is the only true measure of what man ought to be, then uh, general ethics, the study of the general principle of morality, then specific, specific, special ethics, the study of the application of the general principle of morality, then professional ethics, set of code to which everybody professions must subscribe. Then police police uh, police ethics, practical science that treats the principle of human morality and duty as applied to law enforcement. Then human acts which proceed from the deliberate free will of man. Then kinds of human act, the illicit acts, those performed by the by will and not bodily externalized. Then wish is the tendency of will towards do something, whether will be the realizable or not. The intention is the tendency of the will towards something attainable, but without necessarily the committing of oneself to attain it. Then consent is the acceptance of the will of those needed to carry out the intention. Then election is the selection of the will, those effectively enough to carry out the selection. Then use is the command of the will to make use those elected to carry out intention. Then fruition is the enjoyment of the will, attainment of the had desire to earlier. Then commanded acts the those done either by the man, mental or bodily power, under the command of will. Then internal action, conscious reasoning, the recalling something, encouraging oneself and controlling uh, emotions. Then external action, ito yung ito yung walking, eating, dancing, laughing, then listening, then reading. Moral distinction, the dictates of the reasons and the norm of the morality, which is the standard by which merits or demerits. Then moral good moral uh, moral moral good actions, action action which are the conformity with the norm of morality. Then immoral, bad action, um, action which are not the conformity with the norm of morality. Then ang tawag dito, the amoral different action, action which are the stand the neutral in relation to the norm of morality. Then voluntariness, comes from the Latin word voluntus, referring to the will. Then types of voluntariness, direct voluntariness is the Direct voluntariness is the permittedly, the intended by the order, the either on the itself or the or as means to achieve something. Then indirect voluntariness voluntar indirect voluntariness, act of substitution, which is the may result of directly willed act. Then um, the classification of voluntariness, perfect voluntariness, person or who fully knows the fully intended acts. Then anong tawag dito, susunod yung imperfect voluntariness, the person the person the person the the person the person who act without fully realizing the means to do, or without fully intending the act. Then conditional voluntariness, person who will forced by the ang tawag dito, by the by the circumstances, ayun, circumstances to beyond perform an act which would the under normal condition. Then simple voluntariness, person doing act. Then doing willfully, the regardless of whether the he likes to do or not, it either the positive or negative. Then the modifiers, ano tawag dito, uh, human act, the ignorance, absences of the knowledge which the person to possess. Then passion is the either the uh, tendencies the away from the undesirable or harmful things. Then classification of passion, um, the positive emotion, love, desire, hope, and bravery. Then negative emotions, ito yung hatred or horror, ganun. Then sadness, then despair, the fear and anger. um, the passions are passions are uh, the shit kasama nun. Passions and psychic responses, yun pala. Then such as they are neither immoral to bound to deregulate the submit them to control of the reasons. Then the fear of this uh fear of fear is the the disturbance of the mind of a lot person who confronted by an impending then harm to himself or love other ones pala. Then violence is the physical force extended person by the agent uh, for the for the for the purpose of compelling person to act against his will. Then habits, lasting, leadness. Then burn off the frequently. Then acting in a certain manner. Then action and emotion. uh, man does an act with emotions and feelings, not like a robot. Then kagandahan ng loob, it is the reverse attitude, and it start for ang tawag dito, it start kagandahan ng loob, wait lang. Kagandahan ng loob, it's reverse attitude and it's a stand for all that in goods, call it kaibigan in human being. Then kagandahan ng loob, ano sa kagandahan ng loob na naman? Shit, kagandahan ng loob, kagandahan ng loob, wait lang. Kagandahan ng loob is, wait lang, ito na. Kagandahan ng loob is, kagandahan ng loob is, ayun, right, right and duties, man in born with rights and duties, having rights in an attributes of attributes of a person, the natural rights, base base ang tawag dun? Based on natural law that in human nature, then human rights is based on human rights based on positive laws, either those the enacted by the state of or the ang tawag dito, or the state or religious sect, then civil status naman civil civil rights, the civil rights the dependent upon the laws of the state, then the inalienable rights civil of religious, which can be shit, unalienable the civil or religious, which can be the surrendered by the renounced or remove, such as thing the right to descent the livelihood, then right of jurisdiction, power of the lawful authority to ang tawag dito, jurisdiction to govern the subjects and to make laws them, then right of property, power on to sell the barter, to lend, to change or give one's person professions, then jurisdiction rights, is the sige, sagutin nyo nga yung tawag.
Hello.
Jurisdiction, then the jurisdiction rights, all rights in wait lang, jurisdiction right, all rights, wait lang, rights, wait lang, jurisdiction, all rights in so far are based on laws, the rights must be the respected and allowed fully the state justice, then the objectively, ano ba the objectively, it is the anything we are the obliged to do or not to or meet, then subjectively, it is a moral obligations, then the person of doing omitting or avoiding the something, then natural duties, they imposed by the natural law the the ang tawag dito, such as the natural law, such the duty to care for our death, then positive duties imposed by a human positive law, then such as the duty of rules, then affirmative duties, affirmative duties naman na ako. Affirmative duties which requires the performance of a certain act, then such as casting, applying the business of license, then negative duties which requires of the omission of the certain act of destroying the property of other. Then bill of rights is a list of rights that permitting to persons, ano to, persons then then civil rights, those which an individual enjoys in his private activities. Then political rights, those which are individual enjoy the participating in government. Then rights of property, rights of property, the power to own, to sell, the butter to lend, the ones of personal professions, due process, requirement, the legal matter must the solve of the ang tawag dito, establish rules the and principle, then warrant of arrest, then search of warrant, then probable cause, then if flagrant delicto, ito yung caught in the act, then citizen arrest, warrantless arrest performed by the citizen, then warrantless search without wait lang. Okay. Warrantless searching without warrant. Then consent. Consent is the freely and voluntary agree to search of property. Then blame view doctrine. Uh, the evidence is clearly visible. I think visible. Visible. The libel is the defamation through written. Then slander is the defamation through verbal naman. Then freedom of religion, freedom to believe to in any religion. Then bill of attainder, legislative act of imposed punishment without trial. Then arraignment, the defendant change the rights, court will appoint attorney and doesn't have one. Then fines, the money imposed by the court, the punishment of the crime. Then bail, bail, cash bond or property that an arrested person gives to a court to ensure that he or she will appear in court. Then the double jeopardy, ano yung jeopardy na naman, double jeopardy, ito yung Ito yung prosecution of a person twice for commission of offense, then doctrine of poisonous, three any evidence, uh, the habits are illegal obtained that cannot be used in court against the defendant. Shit.